Hello, in this video, let's go through some of the features and operation in our 3D viewport. Here you can see that it's very intuitive. If we click any one of the resource in the items view, you can see that the 3D viewport will be updated. So the first thing is we needed to introduce the navigation tool in our 3D viewport. The navigation is pretty simple. There are three kinds of navigation. The first one is left click and hold and drag your mouse button. You can see that you can change the rotation angle of this camera. And then the middle click and the drag, you can change the position of the camera and the pan of the viewport. Things like this. It's pretty straightforward. And with the middlemost wheel, you can the room out and room in this the resource in our 3D viewport. So this is a navigation of the 3D viewport, and then I'm going to introduce the some of the features of the 3D viewport. You can see that there are a list of the buttons above on top of this 3D viewport. The first one is the grid display. Pretty simple. And the second one is fog. If we zoom out, you can see that there's a fog, and if we click and disable that, the fog disappear. And the third button is it means that if we export this kind of the resource to the 3ds Scan Maya, the character can attach the terrain with this foot. We can ignore this at this time, and we're going to introduce them later. And the next two icons are combo controls the locomotion of this character. If we switch to this running animation, you can see the character is running away from its origin. If we turn on this in place icon and the disable of this locomotion icon, you can notice the character is running in place at the origin at this. And let's switch back. The character is running away from the origin again. And the icon next to it is the material display. Let's switch to the resource we exported in the previous video. For example, this one. You can see that this character has the material, and we can turn on and off by this icon. And the next thing I'm going to introduce is some of the operation in our 3D viewport. You can see that this 3D viewport is kind of a player with the frame range. You can pause and frame editing and stop the playback. If you stop the playback, the character becomes the bind pose. And let's play that again. And you can re-render it with another angle, things like this. We can click this render button. You can see that the GIF and the preview in our the resource window will be updated. And let's change that an angle again, and things like this one. You can see that the GIF has been updated. And then you can trim the animation. For example, let's switch to this one. As you can see that there are the 136 frames here out there. We can change the start and end position of this player, and observe this animation with the new kind of the frame range. And click this button, trim, and render again. You can see that our animation becomes the 50 frames, and the GIF has been updated. And if we want to resume them back, we can click this resume. You can see that the frame come back to the 135 frames. Okay, this is an introduction for our 3D viewport. Thank you for watching. See you next time.